Planet Water Podcast.
Thank you so much, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of A Water with Martin Riese and my new co-host, Michael Mascha. And I think everybody who's interested in the water industry knows Michael already, because Michael is a very, very famous guy, I would say. He's definitely the same level that I am, because he's actually even a little bit above me, I would say, because he started that whole water thing a little bit earlier than I started it. And he was one of the gentlemen who actually sent me a recommendation letter when I wanted to come to Los Angeles, to America in 2011, and I'm really thankful for him. So Michael, hello and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Martin. Fantastic. I'm so happy to be here and doing this together. I think it will be really exciting. And, especially in times like this, we want to showcase how vital still our industry is and how much progress we're still making, even so you don't hear so much about it.
I think so too. So everybody who doesn't know Michael, Michael and myself are doing the Fine Water Academy. So when you want to become a water sommelier these days, it does not matter where you live. You don't need to travel. That's actually the beautiful thing, especially about the scenario where we're in right now. And I think Michael and myself had that dream for many, many years, because we thought, hey, we have so much knowledge about water. We should give that knowledge to the next generation, or maybe to, I don't want to even say next generation. I'm not that old, hopefully. And Michael either, but we wanted to share our experience as water sommeliers, what we're doing around the world, to other people. So Michael, you want to talk a little bit about the Fine Water Academy?
Yeah, so it's a fantastic way of becoming a water sommelier. You will train with the two of us. Everything is 100% online, but it's not easy. It will take you 3 months. You will have to do a lot of assignments. We can already tell you, you will fail some assignments. And we have people, not getting used to failing assignments. But I think the people we've already graduated, I think we're very, very proud of. And we can see they're already making fantastic contributions to the category. And some of them come from brands, some of them come from distribution, and some of them come from HoReCa. So I think we'll have a very, very interesting group of people that thinks very much like Martin and myself, pushing the category forward with a very contemporary thinking about water. This is not a stiff kind of wine sommeliers from the 80s. This is fun, contemporary, and from people that, like Martin and I, are working in the category.
Yeah, and I think everybody who knows me, I like to have a lot of fun with water. That's the reason the whole Fine Water Academy is a lot of fun. And I really have to say, I'm enjoying that on a daily basis when I see the assignments from all around the world dribbling in on my computer, and I can read some assignments, I can watch videos for some assignments, and we can connect to people who are interested in the water industry. And that is for me fascinating. But I have to say, I'm getting a little thirsty, and we always said a water with. So obviously, Michael and myself want to drink water as well. And we have a very, very special guest from the United States today here. And I have the water in front of me. It's not the typical bottle of water, what you might be seeing in the grocery store. This is something I really think has a lot of passion to it. So welcome, Natalia.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me a little bit, where are you located?
Well, I'm located in Southern Oregon right now, but the water actually comes from Pine, Idaho.
Okay. And how did you start to become interesting in water?
Well, it's a very interesting story. I wasn't so much interested. I mean, I've always been interested in the types of water we drink from a health perspective. But my family, my husband and myself were very interested in water advocacy and nonprofit work. And we have about 15 years in that industry. And then in 2015, when this Rising Spring source came up for sale, somebody involved in the sale reached out to us because they knew of our commitment to water and protecting water, and they were very invested in having the new owners be somebody of that mind frame. And so they reached out to us, and we were, did our due diligence, and we're very, very honored and excited to purchase the land in the spring and kind of embark on this journey. But we really, from day one, we weren't sure what that would look like. So it has been an unfolding from the beginning.
Very interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned the social purpose, because it's the first time when I saw on your website, it actually says Social Purpose Corporation. I wasn't aware we have SPCs.
Yes, yeah. It was very important to us from the beginning to layer as much of the consciousness of water advocacy and social and business environmental awareness from the beginning, because I think it's so much harder to do, you know, once you're up and running. So to just really make that foundation in the beginning. So we're a B Corp, which was a lot of work, and we have a nonprofit giving arm, and then we also offset our carbon footprint as a company.
I think this is great, and this is like why I'm so passionate about water, because I know a lot of water brands who are doing that and who's saying like, you know what, we're taking something from Mother Nature and want to give it to the people, the beauty of Mother Nature, and they feel appealed on like going something back to the nature or giving something to society, or being like really aware of the situation that as a company you should do something good. And I love the idea that Rising Spring right away thought this about the beginning of this, to say, no, we want to be aware of that situation and we want to do something good to the planet and good to the people as well. And this is, I think, why we're on this planet. Let's face it, huh? We should bring joy to the planet. We should bring joy to other human beings and other animals and everything. And I think it's just great to have a company with us today here at A Water With, the podcast, to talk a little bit about the social aspect about water as well. So can you tell me a little bit about the water in general? Because Michael and I, as water sommeliers, obviously we're interested in the taste of water as well.
Yes, absolutely. So I think I'll speak a little bit to the source. It is located in Pine, Idaho, so about an hour and a half outside of Boise, Idaho, at the base of the Sawtooth Mountains. The Sawtooth is actually part of the largest contiguous wildlife in the lower 48. And the water itself in the aquifer is underneath a granite batholith, which is the largest batholith in the world. So the water, the source is so protected with this large wilderness area and this dense granite. The water rises from 2.2 miles deep. 2 miles of that journey is through quartz crystal, so it picks up that silica along the way. It rises in our source house and we package there on site in the box.
I think a lot of people don't maybe know, but when you see the video right now on YouTube, obviously a lot of people listen to the podcast, but you can watch the video as well on YouTube. And I will holding right now this incredible, beautiful package. And that's pretty much how much gallons are in there.
It's 5 liters. So I believe
5 liters.
Yeah.
That's very heavy. I can work out with that. I have to say, huh? This is a great, like, you know, gyms are closed. So you do your workout and you can hydrate on the same time. So this is great.
It's a fantastic packaging. You know, we had Rising Spring participate last year in Stockholm at the Taste and Design Awards. And, you know, they really won, you should hold it up. Yeah, they really won a gold medal for the packaging. And I think it's really, really fascinating. And maybe we can talk later a little bit about an aspect which I like best on the packaging, is that the pH is not very prominent, or I don't think displayed on the packaging. I think that's a really, really cool thing, and we can talk about it later. But quickly through the history, we know this water, right? This has been around for a while. This is one of the classic water, and I think for the people who have been in the business for a longer time, this was Trinity water at some point, correct?
Correct, yes. Yes, it was packaged under the name Trinity, and it was a top-selling SKU in Whole Foods. And, you know, they did a beautiful job. They built a wonderful source house to honor the water. It's gorgeous. There's pictures on the website, and there's a picture I can show you here. And, you know, they put a lot of thought into, you know, the packaging facility. And so, and a lot of their, the science they did, we inherited a lot of great things from Trinity that really set us out on a great starting point to launch Rising Springs. It would have been maybe unsurmountable, really, to start from nothing. So we're very grateful that they were so thoughtful in all that they did, and that we could then pick up the stewardship and launch a new brand with some of the other things like the B Corp and the consciousness and other things layered in.
How did you came up with the name Rising Springs?
Well, I'll tell you, first off, it's really hard to pick a name because a lot of them are taken. So we had a lot of, sessions of my husband and I and kids and whoever else we could get to, join in. And we just had, lists and lists written down. And, a lot of the ones were taken. And I don't, Rising Springs was always in there. And I don't know that from the beginning, it was like, oh, this is the one. But as it's built, it really feels correct because that's exactly what it's doing. And our intent has always been to just be, it's an offering, and we want to be the conduit for the offering, and we want to be as transparent as possible, with the spring, with what it is. And so that's what it is. It's a rising spring.
So it's called Rising Springs. Do you have one spring, or are there multiple springs? Because there's a plural in the brand name.
Yeah, there's actually 2 springs. We currently only package out of one spring, and the facility is only equipped to package out of that spring. But we have a second spring on the property, which is the same aquifer, same fissure that it rises from, and it has no source house right now, but it has the rate of the spring that we're currently packaging is 27 gallons a minute. The bridge spring, we call it, is 240 gallons a minute.
Oh, interesting. So again, I'm thirsty, and as a water sommelier, water should not be a dry topic. So I'm gonna open this now, and I want that people really seeing this because this is really well done. And you have here a little notch. You press this pretty much in there, or you can pull it out. Then this comes here, you're putting this right here. So it's actually very, very simple. Moving this away. And you can put this back in there. Here we go.
Well done.
This is very, very simple. It's almost look like I'm your marketing director, for your water, huh? So, and then because, it has to be obviously safe. So there's a little notch right here. You can open it with this as well. And now you can actually pouring the water. Let's see if I can manage to do this here. Here we go. And there's this flowing. Oh, what a nice sound. God. It makes
so
me
Martin,
really
can you pour me a glass as well?
Michael, we should, there are some videos right now with wrestling girls who are all sitting at home and one is hitting and then the picture comes to the next person and it's falling down and hits the next person. So maybe we should do this with water producers, Michael. We're sharing a glass in the picture and then the next picture comes. I think that would be a nice thing. Anyhow, so cheers, Michael. Cheers to you to Texas, because you're being in beautiful Texas without Rising Spring, but I'm lucky enough here in Los Angeles that I have 2 boxes. One I'm opening right now. And cheers, Nicoya. Hopefully you have your water in front of you as well. Cheers.
I do. Cheers to you, Martin.
Well, cheers, guys. The funny thing is, I already actually finished mine. I had a box from Stockholm, and I actually brought it home with me on the plane. I was carrying actually as a carry-on. And there was a little water in left. I couldn't take a lot of water, but there was a little bit of water, and we really enjoyed it in Stockholm. So, and I'm looking forward to what Martin thinks about the water. I don't know if you had it before, Martin, but yeah, I thought it was really very special.
I had it before. It's a very round, very smooth water. You can clearly taste the silica level, I think. It makes the water very, very round and smooth. And it's very refreshing. It's a funny thing is it feels almost, because I have it room temperature, obviously, and everybody who knows me, I'm always drinking my waters room temperature, because when you're chilling a water down, you're losing aromas. So please, guys, it's always important when you're doing a water tasting. And actually for me, I think it's better for my body. When I hydrate myself, I'm drinking all my waters room temperature. But this water, even in room temperature, feels really refreshing. What I like. Nicoya, do you know the TDS level out of your head of this water?
Yes, it's 190.
190. So it's not like, Michael, we would consider it what?
We would consider it light.
Yeah.
We would consider light water. But I find, when I remember how I experienced the water for the first time, I was really surprised. Number one, I knew it is a hot spring, and Nicoya can maybe talk about this a little bit later. So you would expect there's tons and tons of water in there, but it seems like the granite is so solid, so hard, that even the hot water can only dissolve a couple of minerals. And what I really enjoyed is with the water, what the pH does to it. It has a very high pH. I think it's over 9, something along 9 point.
9.4.
So it has a pH of 9.4, so which is really, really high. And for me and Martin, we both have the experience. This high pH gives the water this kind of velvety feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about pairings later on, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is desserts, non-chocolate desserts, when you want to have this velvety, soft feeling with a water that has enough substance to carry it, but it has that fantastic silica, high pH feeling to it. And what I mentioned before on the box, many other companies would market their water high pH, high pH, high pH, healthy, you live forever if you drink it. So I was so happy to see that the high pH, which is uniquely high on your brand, was not put forward, but you focus on the water and have the pH as one of the attributes of your brand, but not the key component.
Yeah, we actually, there was some suggestions for us to make it more bold. We ended up in our second version, we did add it right here so that, it was easier to find, but we were really clear that we didn't, again, we just go back to an offering. So it's the offering of the water. We want to list the attributes, and then it's the consumer's choice to choose what works for them.
I really appreciate that you're saying this, because Michael and myself don't believe in this whole marketing gimmicks. And some waters, and I think for me, it's like the more marketing gimmicks are on the water, the more you know that waters might be from a municipal source, because they don't have a story. And I get it. It's like, obviously you told us already about Rising Springs. It comes steeply out of granite. So it's a beautiful story and a romantic story to it. It comes from a natural occurring source, and you pretty much don't do anything to it. You're just bottling it. So other water companies doesn't sound obviously so attractive when you're saying, oh, in Montebello, we have a factory and we're using their tap water, then we're filtering everything out, we're adding some high processed minerals to it, and that's pretty much it, what we're doing. That's not really sexy for the consumer. Then suddenly they're coming up with an idea of, oh my God, it's high alkaline, it's overhydrating water, overachieving water, and then you already know, like, okay, now it's getting a little ridiculous. For me, I really appreciate what you're doing. Yeah? So, you're almost like an understatement. So it's like you're having a Porsche or like a Mercedes or something in your box. So it's an incredibly good product, but you don't have to show it. Huh? And that is amazing. And this is really what I appreciate about Rising Springs.
I think it's part of the whole brand, Martin, exactly. And I think even the box reflects that understatement, right? There's no picture of mountains or anything, and I'm pretty sure it's beautiful there, but it's this kind of really understatement focus on the main characteristics. And I'm curious, right now you're boxing just in the bag in a box. Do you have any future plans for expanding your offerings?
I am excited to say that our plant ran their first line of glass bottles today, successfully.
Oh, that's incredible. So
yeah.
Congratulations. And I'm so happy that we're doing the podcast on this very special day, obviously, as well. So we would love to see the bottles at one point, because I think that would be very interesting for everybody to see how you came up with them with the bottle. What kind of bottle are you using?
We're using a glass bottle made here in the United States or in Canada. And we're doing a 750 ml and then a 12-ounce pairing. So those are, we really had envisioned designing our own glass bottle. Would have been an amazing, I think an amazing, reflection of the spring is what we wanted to do. But I think for now, to make it accessible for the consumer, we went with a standard kind of white wine bottle.
What I actually like, I love wine bottles, like the Bordeaux bottle shape. I think it's a great bottle, and I know a lot of water companies who are very successful out of that bottle. So I think it's a great choice, because again, and I think my listeners and the viewers can here already see it's not about marketing for Rising Springs. It's about the quality of water bringing to you in a great box or in a great bottle, because the water is that what counts. And this is what I'm always saying, and Michael as well. In the end, that all goes into my glass, and in the end it goes into my palate, and then I want to see the quality of our water. I actually don't care about all the marketing gimmicks beside this. And that's the reason, again, Rising Springs is for me really like a great choice to choose, because I'm getting that what I want to get, because I want to get a very, very good healthy water in my glass.
And you're absolutely on the trend. You think you may be missing out on something, designing your own bottle. But if you look at the overall industry worldwide, I think this trend is a little bit over. That's about a year or 2 years old, where everyone's designing their own bottle, you know, super expensive, super premium. I think we're coming back to a level where people focusing on the water and on the brand, but recognizing that the bottle is not so important anymore as a characteristics of the brand. If you have all the other things, like Martin was saying before, if you don't have anything else, then you need to make the bottle shine. But if you have a water like this, which has a store and everything, it works extremely well in a wine bottle. And I think it's very consistent with your overall brand. So it's fantastic.
We are really excited. You know, we originally had wanted to package in glass, but looking at the carbon footprint, and we launched a DTC brand primarily. We now are in certain retail outlets as well with the box, but it was just such a high carbon footprint for the DTC model to ship in glass, and water already being heavy, you know, and so I love the bag in the box. I actually think it's just the ease of use is, you know, sitting on your counter. I have one in my car, on my desk, in my bathroom, they're everywhere. But there is an experience that you have with glass that is really nice. And we are excited to have both options now, so that you can really have a premium experience with the glass bottle for, you know, on this in a boutique or you know, retail outlet, and then for an on-premise or spa, hotel, those types of things. I think both options we're very excited about.
And I think you have a good point there, because you're almost like one of the first ones who really created this beautiful back-in-box. But I know that several like large companies, bottled water companies, really thinking now to produce like gallons or like back-in-boxes as well, because they're realizing, okay, it really doesn't make sense anymore to bottle like a 0.33 liter plastic bottle, because people using then one after another, after another, and after another. Why not creating one big container and then bringing the consumer like this big container at home or into the hotels, and then they're selling maybe like a small bottle, reusable bottle, maybe even labeled with a water company, that you can refill your bottle. And I think this will be the future. And I think you're like one of the first ones who realized that. And I think, look at this, huh? Look at this, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that was the whole idea. You know, when we purchased the spring, it actually had a PET bottling line in it. And we immediately pulled that out, and we knew we weren't going to use that regardless of what we used. And so then having the multi-serve box, and then you know, I love these. Earthwell did a wonderful job branding, you know, creating these water bottles, which incredibly high quality stainless steel and this environmental powder coating on the outside. And so the idea being that, and we all have many water bottles, I think, in our kitchen. And so, you know, it's nice to have a branded one, but we all have them. So that idea of just really being able to fill your own water bottle, it makes the most sense. And, you know, the other thing I'll add to that is that we do, you know, there's a liner inside of the box, and the liner, the spout, even that tab you pull off is all upcyclable if you send that back to us at the plant. We partner with a company that turns it into synthetic diesel.
Mm-hmm. So far, your customers have mainly been individuals, households, families?
Yes. We have, we actually sell pallets as well. And so we've had some larger corporations order pallets for headquarters.
It's interesting. So most companies right now, with the coronavirus and the restaurants closing down, they see an impact in their sales on premises. So did you notice an impact on your sales?
They increased for us. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. So what is the future for Rising Springs? So you told us you want to create the glass bottle. You still want to maybe go into the restaurant world, or you're thinking, you know what, it might be better to be in retail?
I think we're open to both, really, looking for more of the premium boutique retail, not the larger chain stores. And, I think we are going to begin by focusing more West Coast because our spring is on the West Coast. And so looking at maybe picking some geographical locations to start with and do some on-premise and some retail there and just kind of see what the appetite is. Now, that's really an interesting time to be doing this, right? Because it's hard, we're just in talks with brokers and distributors. We have no placement and retail and on-premise is not accepting anything right now. So what we've done now is we will be offering the glass online in a case for the 750 ml bottles as a way to, at least connect the consumer to these gorgeous glass bottles and the experience that we've built. And so that will be the first offering. And then we will, see what the appetite is as it unrolls.
Mm-hmm. Martin, what do you think about the pairings with the water? What are your ideas?
I think I liked already the idea what you said, like desserts, something like this. I think it would be interesting with spicy food as well to off balance it. So kind of like the contrast of the water, because pairing is not always to match the same level. Sometimes you want to have it like exactly the opposite, because then it's like sweet sour, for example, in the Asian cuisine. And this is exactly what I think about this water, what would be really interesting. Spicy food, Korean food, Chinese food, Asian food, I think in general would be very interesting. I see some acidic foods as well, like salads. I think it would be very interesting to off-balance it. And then clearly desserts. Clearly, especially like fruity desserts, like with grapefruit, acidic desserts, with lemon, limes, oranges. I think this would be very, very interesting to pair with.
Mm-hmm. No, I love the idea with the spicy food. I think that's really good. Because it almost feels like sometimes if you eat Indian food and it's a little bit more spicy, you take a little bit of yogurt or something to tone down the spiciness. And the velvety aspect of the water has the same feeling. So, we have a water tasting competition again. We had to cancel the one in Slovenia for obvious reasons. But Martin invited us to come to his beautiful hotel. He's actually in the hotel right now with the beautiful background. And on October 5th, we will have the Taste Awards and Design Awards 2020 at Petit Hermitage in Los Angeles. And we're thinking of doing another dinner afterwards. And, maybe we'll try the water with some of the spicy foods in some of the many good Thai restaurants we have very close by to your place. This could be really exciting.
Yeah, I think so too, Michael. What you were saying, Natalia?
I was saying we would be honored to be a part of that.
Maybe you're even able to join us. It's not that far away for you, huh?
Oh yes, I would love that. I actually had many events planned in LA for the spring and the summer for the launch, which of course were canceled. But
it's a little bit postponed now, yeah. Yeah. But I think Michael just said it. Our podcast always comes from Petit Hermitage Hotel, where I'm currently working, and I think I want to show it a little bit to you as well, where I'm actually located. You see this beautiful garden right behind me, and you see this incredible tree. It's a very, very it's almost like an oasis in Los Angeles. A lot of people would never think that I'm actually right now in West Hollywood, but we're doing this every week now on a try. We're trying it always on Thursdays actually to do the podcast here from Petit Hermitage. And what Michael already said, on the 5th of October, even it's for the public. So people can come on the 5th of October, join us, and to see how 5 sommeliers from around the world can taste all the different waters. Michael, how many waters we will have? What do you think?
I think 60 to 80 would be my guess.
So that's incredible. I will be very thirsty. Hopefully I still know where the restrooms are located right after. Always very important as a water sommelier to have to know where the restrooms are. So, Nicoya, one more question for Rising Springs. When people want to purchase your water and when people are really interested into the water, where can they get that?
The first place they can go is our website, risingspringsource.com. And we have, the ability to sign up for a one shipment or a recurring subscription so that you can count on this water arriving every month or every 2 weeks. We're also on Salacious Beverage website as well, or we will be really soon. I'm not sure if we're there quite yet. And then we actually are in retail outlets. We're at Erewhon in your area. I think there's 4 outlets there, and then, or 4 retail locations. And then in our hometown of Boise, we're in Whole Foods, and at the 2 co-ops in Boise, and then in the Wood River Valley, we have a few locations. So there's actually a locator on our website that shows our retail outlets.
And what was the homepage again?
RisingSpringsSource.com.
Okay, perfect. RisingSpringsSource.com, guys. For everybody who's not watching us on YouTube, that you definitely know where to get this incredible water. Nicoya, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you here online. Michael, the same to you. Thank you so much for being here. And you want to share, Nicoya, you want to say something to everybody?
Thank you so much for having me. And I really invite you to come check out and I want to show you the picture of the source.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So this is where the water rises from the 2.2 miles deep. So, we have a great website with lots of information, and I just invite people to come and check us out and try Rising Springs. And then I look forward to seeing you gentlemen in LA in October.
Thank you. Michael?
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Good meeting you. And I hope we'll see you in the Academy soon again, Nicoya.
Yes.
And for all the listeners and viewers, thank you so much. This is Martin Riese, your water sommelier. And stay thirsty, because water is not just water. And see you next week to another incredible water podcast with a water with. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.